well in the acting field, so I feel like I just want to. I really don't have anything else. That's what I do.
You don't have anything else. What does that mean? You don't have anything else?
I'm educated, but not well enough to be a lawyer, a doctor, and you know I feel like I'm very good in what I do. So acting is basically, you know, my thing.
Dr. Dyson, how do you feel hearing him talk, saying this is all I have? I don't have anything else. That saddens me.
Well, let me start. Look, obviously, let's be honest. And I'm a college professor, got a PhD at Princeton, but I was a teen father, hustled on the streets for 4 years, didn't start college till I was 21. So I'm not here trying to point the finger or condescendingly, because then that would be a lie about what I've done in my own life. But once having awakened, once realizing that if I want to provide an opportunity for my son in the future, I had to be educated in this society. I think we have to acknowledge that. Now, if you're a tremendous actor, and you are, I've seen you act, you're an extraordinary actor on The Wire and the like, so you got mad chops as a thespian, but the question is, if your last gig was about a year ago, you probably want to generate an alternative strategy to self-support, which means you got to get some education, which means you got to, and it's not for the sake of education. My son took an extended plan to finish, but I told him, you're going to keep your behind in school until you get a degree, because you're going to get out of my house and out my pocket. So the thing is, and I love that, brother, but so I think you have to have an alternative, because most black men are not going to be able to shoot a basketball. Either you got a jump shot, you know, jump shot, or you got a wicked jump shot, right? You can do that. Entertainment. The thing is that you've got to find an alternative to those things so that you can fall back, a fallback plan, so that should it not work out, you're educated yourself to the degree that you're able to take care of yourself and do your thing.
People need to learn, too, if you have success early in acting, then that's what, I mean, you're popular. People like, man, they're telling you every day, you're great, man, I love that show. But then when that show is over, and it's been a year since you have to advance what you know as far as reading more books and getting comfortable and getting that education, because that's the only thing that's going to allow you to take it to the next level.
Like
I can tell you about me, Julito. I, you know, started modeling, and I got accepted to 5 colleges for film and television production. And 2 weeks before my first day of school, I got discovered in LA, and they wanted me to go to Paris. I told myself, okay, I'm going to put college on hold for a year. I talked to my university and deferred for a year. And they even said that they would give me some type of credit if I can learn French when I came back. Okay. But I told myself, if I am not a supermodel in a year, peace out, Paris. I told myself that plan. I give myself 1 year, and if I'm not there, I'm going to go back to school and get my education and go after my other dream, which was film and television production, to be a producer. And it's interesting to me that you don't have that other plan. And that's what saddens me, is to not have that true other plan where you can be just as successful but in another field.
It's like, the reason I haven't acted is not because I haven't been, you know, it's just right now in the society and everything that's going on in the industry-wise, there's no roles out there for me, and I don't want to be stereotyped as a young hood guy. You know, I'm not saying just because I don't go to college, I'm not educated, because if you look at people like 50 Cent, like Jay-Z, they never, none of them made it out of high school, you know, But
you're looking at 1 in a million. That's like looking at a young girl looking at a supermodel and saying, well, Tyra did this, or so-and-so did this. Those are 1 in a million. It is like winning the lotto. Woo! It's like winning the lotto.
50 Cent got shot 9 times. God bless him, he still lived. Jay-Z had to sling Raw and push Purple and Wet off this step. So the thing is, God forgive me for my brash delivery, but I remember vividly what these streets did to me. True. But at the same time, he said that he wants to make it possible for other people. He said, no, Hov did that, so you won't have to do that. So the reason that Hov slung crack, and the reason that 50 Cent did what he did, is so that other people would have the opportunity to take an alternative route to success. So I think that these are brilliant, obviously, young men, but you have to have a fallback plan. You got to have plan A. If plan A don't work, you have to have plan B. Plan B don't work, plan C, plan D. You got to have alternate strategies to get what you're trying to get.
I still got plan B, C, and D right here. Even with my life right now, I still have plans. Still, constantly. Because you never know. You never know. We'll be right back.
Still to come, is dressing for success enough?
Even looking the way that I look, if you hold yourself in a certain light and you hold yourself with a certain esteem, they're always going to respect you.
And later, looking for Mr. Right.
So you've given up on the brothers?
Yes, I have, Tyra. I am fed up.
We remain the most prosperous, powerful nation on earth. Our workers are no less productive than when this crisis began. Our minds are no less inventive. Our goods and services no less needed than they were last week or last month or last year. Starting today, we must pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and begin again the work of remaking America.
We're exploring something today very important, which is having the first black president in the White House and how that will affect the future of all black men. A recent study in the New York Times revealed that 5 million black males in America between ages 20 and 39 are unemployed, underemployed, or unemployable because of criminal records. Will that change now that we have a black president? Joining us now is Kijan, who's upset because she says her friend Sean needs to step up and try harder to get a job. Okay, so tell me what's going on. You don't think he's stepping up? He looks like a real nice, put-together guy.
Well, Sean and I went to graduate school together, and he's a very intelligent guy. My problem is that Sean isn't just pushing hard enough. I feel that he's not really sort of putting himself out there enough, not sending out enough resumes, not pounding the pavement as much as he needs to. And it's just really heartbreaking and disappointment to see that he's just not doing the best that he possibly could in his job search.
She says that you're not pushing hard enough.
Well, I beg to differ. I think the issue is that, you know, based on how I look, you know, it's very difficult for me to fit in the, you know, workplace culture. You know, the fact that I'm big, I have a beard, you know, all these things, you know, whereas I have, you know, white friends who, you know, have beards and, you know, look a certain way, but they're still able to get the job, or they're still able to work in the workplace because people are comfortable with that.
So you think that's what it is for him, that those are the obstacles of being a black man, Kijan, or do you think that it is him being lazy?
Well, I think part of it is that he's not aiming high enough. I mean, Barack is president, you know, he's sort of an example of how high we can shoot just as people of color to do the things that we want to do in life. And I just feel like whatever his perception of his reality is, but to me, they're just excuses.
Ty is here. He's a banking software installer. You're the only black guy in your department. What do you have to say about this?
I totally disagree because, I mean, I'm a professional. I mean, I even look, you know, different from everybody that's in my office in the whole company. I'm the only black guy that, you know, they've ever seen. But even looking the way that I look, if you hold yourself in a certain light and you hold yourself with a certain esteem, they're always going to respect you.
And you had an issue with your hair because you have locks. Turn to the side so we can see your hair. Beautiful. So tell us what happened at work.
After I was hired, I was kind of taken back behind the closed doors, and they're like, you know, we hope this doesn't offend you, but can you, now that you're accepting the position, can you get your hair cut? Or can you cut it, make it shorter? Can you not make it so long, you know? And I mean, I took direct offense to that because that wasn't just, you know, about a hairstyle. This is like a cultural expression. You know, so it was like, it was offensive because, you know, I'm the only black guy, so it's like, we want you to fit into this mold or this form.
Say you were having trouble getting a job and you think it was because of your locks. Would you cut it and get the job and then grow them out?
If it got to the point where, you know, I just couldn't find anything, but it's like, I don't think that this is an unprofessional hairstyle. You know, I think I can dress it up, and it's not just about the hairstyle. I mean, I go into work looking like this all the time, too, so it's much more than just, you know, so if I was, you know, saggy pants and thugged out and the dreads, then maybe, okay, that strikes against you, but if you can clean it up, I mean, there's other things that you can add in there to still express yourself, you know, as a black man.
Dr. Dyson, what do you think about this? How much of it do you think is someone like Sean? I mean, you don't know Sean, but you've heard his side, and then you've heard his very good friend Kijan's side saying she doesn't think he's trying enough, but he's saying he just feels that the doors are closing.
Well, there's another element here. I think, look, here's the irony of America. All of these stories are true at the same time. Truth is not cereal, S-E-R-I-L, not Captain Crunch versus Fruit Loops. But one thing is true until something else comes along, and then that's true. Stuff is true at the same time. It can be equally true that a highly intelligent, gifted young man who has an alternative hairstyle, the locks, is able to secure employment, and it's equally true that a highly gifted graduate student cannot find jobs. If you read William Jewis Wilson's book, When Work Disappears, stereotypes of black male, you know, the Biggie movie came out. You know, dropped out of high school, stereotypes of a black male misunderstood, but it's all still good, whatever. The point is that you can have a dark-skinned black man who looks ominous and threatening versus a lighter-skinned, you know, voluptuously gifted young man right here.
I love that, voluptuous.